Welcome back to Simply Living Mama. Today I am going to take you along with me as I pick up our raw milk. I usually pick up every other week or sometimes once a week, depending on how quickly we've ran through our gallon of milk. And I just love the drive. It's so beautiful. And sometimes my kids come along with me, sometimes they stay back with dad. But today everyone came along with me. It was a cold one, but it was just so fun to get out of the house because we had been stuck in the house for several days due to the snow and ice. And I just love supporting our local farmers. I just know where everything is coming from and how much they love their animals and how they take care of their animals. It's just really great to find a local farm like the one we get our milk from. I went ahead and picked up some cream as well because I am going to be making some fresh butter and some homemade sourdough to go with it. That same night, I went ahead and took my sourdough starter out of the fridge. As you can see, there's a liquid on top, and that is totally okay. It just means it's separated. It's called hooch. I think I'm saying that right. And just go ahead and stir that up and use it. I do not weigh my ingredients, I just use measurements, and so far it's worked great. If things are overcomplicated for me, I tend not to do it, and so I did what I know best, and that's measurements, and it works, and it helps me to make bread. And so you do whatever works best for you, whether that's measurements or weighing your ingredients, whatever's gonna get you to make the bread, because that's the most important part, right? I recently read a book called The Mission of Motherhood by Sally Clarkson, and it is phenomenal. Definitely a book that I go back to several times throughout the year. And something that stuck out to me is we mothers need to recognize what a powerful effect our attitude has on our children. Laying down our lives for them can indeed mean giving up, for their sakes, our right to wallow in our negative feelings, and choosing the path of servant leadership certainly means making the effort to respond in faith to our circumstances and our feelings, turning to the Lord for help in maintaining a hopeful attitude. And it's just so important to change one thing instead of I have to do the dishes, I have to clean every day and cook and make bread, and change that simple word to I get to. I get to clean up after my beautiful children. I get to wash the dishes because they were able to eat a beautiful meal that I created. I get to make the bread. I get to do all of these things. And that is going to be so powerful for your children to witness as they grow up. John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no one than this, that one laid down his life for his friends." And that also means for your children and for your husband. Greater love. There's no greater love than that. I know it's hard after a long day to change that mindset, but I encourage you, friend, to change I have to I get to. And watch what the Lord does in your heart as you serve your family. As my bread's going, I am multitasking and I am going to get started on my butter. So you really don't need any type of measurements for butter. Use what you have, even if that is skimming off the milk that you've gotten or you use the cream that you have. You can even buy cream at the store. Obviously, fresh is best, but if you don't have a local farm near you to get raw milk, then use what you can find at the store. And so I do about a cup. I add a little bit more later. So it's about a cup and a half of cream, and I'm gonna just add that right into my blender, and I turn it on high and I let that blend up for several minutes, and I go and check off and on to make sure it is still forming together. It's gonna look like whipped cream for a little bit. Keep going. After several minutes, it's going to look like this, and you're going to go ahead and pour off the buttermilk. Strain the buttermilk off and keep it because you can use it for other recipes and other things, or give it to your chickens or your dog, but don't throw it away. Now you're going to just take the butter and you're going to squeeze any more buttermilk out of the butter. That's going to keep it in the fridge longer. And so you can squeeze it up against a bowl, you can use a wooden spoon to press it up against the bowl, or you can just pick it up and kind of squeeze it between your hands. Once you feel like you've gotten most of it out, you're going to go ahead and add some ice to a bowl with some cold water, or just cold water if you do not have any ice, and you're going to first salt it, and then you're going to add it in the cold water bath. This moment right here, I realized I forgot to add salt before putting it in a cool bath. So add the salt before putting it in a water bath, and then go ahead and put it in a water bath and form it together, making sure the water runs clear before being finished. Once that is done, go ahead and get some parchment paper and just form a little log of butter. It doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be pretty, as long as it tastes good. And even if it doesn't, that's okay. It's practice, it's progress. We are all learning on this journey together. Once that is done, go ahead and put yours in the fridge and let it set and cool to harden up. I was excited and wanted to use it quicker because I wanted some fresh bread and fresh butter. So I went ahead and put mine in the freezer for a few minutes so it could harden up and I could enjoy some bread before going to bed. Don't let sourdough intimidate you because you don't have to overcomplicate it. I didn't add in a lot of stretch and folds in the beginning, and now I'm slowly doing more, but the key is to just start. One more thing I have to add from this book. When I model patience in the midst of difficulty, joy in the midst of messes, contentment in the midst of lack, then I provide them a pattern for their own lives. They will learn that my joy is not circumstantial, but real, because I have an endless source of strength through the power of the Holy Spirit in my life. These are the things that I'm reminded of when I have quiet time in my kitchen, and I can just remember what I've read and what the Lord's told me. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come along with me on this video. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe. It helps me so much and it helps other mamas see this video as well. I hope that you made this and can enjoy some butter honey bread like me and have a little dance in your kitchen while your kids are sleeping. If not, I hope that this encouraged you to change the I have to I get to. I will catch you, sweet friends, on the next one. Bye.